The sterile corridors of Zorath Hospital buzzed with the hum of advanced medical equipment. Alien doctors moved with precision, their translucent skin shimmering under the sterile lights. Dr. Silen, known for his curiosity and empathy, was reviewing patient charts when the emergency alarms blared. A convoy of stretchers burst through the entrance, carrying a group of human soldiers, battered and bloodied. Dr. Varlek, the head doctor, stormed forward, his expression a mask of disdain. "What is this? We do not treat humans here. They are too primitive for our care." Dr. Silen glanced at the human soldiers. Their leader, Captain John Harris, lay on a stretcher, his uniform torn and blood-stained, revealing scars that crisscrossed his muscular frame. Silen's eyes lingered on those scars, each one telling a story of survival and resilience. "But Dr. Varlek, they're critically injured. We can't just leave them to die," Silen protested, his voice steady yet firm. Varlek's eyes narrowed. "Our policy is clear. Humans are not our responsibility. They're too different." The tension in the room was palpable. Silen's heart pounded as he looked at the soldiers, their faces etched with pain and determination. He knew he couldn't stand by and do nothing. "I'll take responsibility," Silen declared, stepping forward. "Let me treat them." Varlek's gaze hardened, but he stepped aside. "Do as you wish, Silen. But their fate will be on your head." Silen quickly moved to Captain Harris's side, his skilled hands working to stabilize the wounded soldier. As he cleaned the wounds, he couldn't help but marvel at the intricate web of scars. "What happened to you?" Silen asked quietly, more to himself than to Harris. Harris's eyes flickered open, filled with a mixture of pain and pride. "Each scar, a story of survival," he muttered before slipping back into unconsciousness. Hours passed in a blur as Silen and a few reluctant assistants worked tirelessly to save the human soldiers. Silen's mind raced with questions about the humans' resilience and the battles they must have faced. As the last soldier was stabilized, Silen sank into a chair, exhaustion washing over him. He glanced at Harris, who lay peacefully now, his chest rising and falling steadily. The scars on Harris's body seemed to glow faintly under the hospital lights, a testament to his indomitable spirit. Just as Silen began to relax, the door to the emergency room slammed open. Dr. Varlek stood there, his face pale. "Silen, we've got a situation. A deadly virus outbreak. It's spreading rapidly, and we need all hands on deck." Silen's blood ran cold. "A virus? Here?" Varlek nodded grimly. "Yes, and it's affecting both humans and aliens. We need to contain it, and fast." Without hesitation, Silen sprang to his feet. "Let's move. We can't let this get out of control." As they rushed down the corridor, Silen glanced back at Captain Harris and his men. He knew that their arrival had already begun to change perceptions. Now they faced a new battle, one that would test their courage and unity in ways ##. Dr. Silen sprinted through the bustling corridors of Zorath Hospital, his mind racing. The deadly virus was spreading at an alarming rate, affecting both humans and aliens alike. He knew time was of the essence. The hospital's once sterile environment was now filled with the chaotic sounds of alarms, hurried footsteps, and desperate voices. As he entered the quarantine ward, Silen was met with a grim sight. Patients lay in beds, their skin mottled with a strange, iridescent rash. Alien doctors worked frantically, their faces masks of concern. Dr. Varlek stood at the center of the room, directing the efforts to contain the outbreak. "Status report," Silen demanded, joining Varlek. Varlek's expression was grave. "The virus is more virulent than we anticipated. It's spreading through contact and airborne particles. Our current containment measures are barely holding." Silen nodded, his mind already formulating a plan. "We need to isolate the source and develop a treatment. I'll start with the humans. Their physiology might offer clues." As Silen moved to the human section of the ward, he found Captain John Harris sitting up in bed, his eyes alert despite his weakened state. "Doctor," Harris greeted with a nod, his voice raspy. "How bad is it?" "Bad," Silen replied, not sugarcoating the situation. But I believe you might hold the key to stopping it. Harris frowned, wincing as he shifted. What do you need from us? Your resilience, Silen said, studying Harris's scars. Your bodies have faced countless battles. I need to understand how you heal, how you survive. Harris nodded slowly. We'll do whatever it takes. Just tell us what to do. Silen began his examinations, meticulously documenting the human's unique physiological responses. He marveled at their accelerated healing, their bodies fighting the virus with a tenacity he hadn't seen before. Each scar he studied told a story of endurance and survival, reinforcing his belief in their strength. Hours turned into a blur as Silen worked tirelessly, analyzing samples, running tests, and coordinating with his team. The tension in the ward was palpable, the stakes growing higher with each passing minute. Every cough, every wheeze echoed through the sterile halls, a grim reminder of the urgency of their mission. As the night wore on, a breakthrough came. Silen's tests revealed that the human's immune systems were producing antibodies at an unprecedented rate. Excitement surged through him. We've got it, he announced to Varlek, who had been overseeing the efforts with a skeptical eye. The human's antibodies can be synthesized to create a vaccine. Varlek's eyes widened in disbelief. Are you sure? Positive, Silen affirmed. We need to start synthesizing it immediately. With renewed vigor, the medical team sprang into action, working around the clock to produce the vaccine. Silen's respect for the human soldiers deepened as he watched them, even in their weakened state, offering assistance and encouragement to others. Finally, as dawn broke, the first batch of vaccines was ready. Silen and Varlek administered the doses to the most critical patients, holding their breath as they waited for signs of improvement. Slowly but surely, the patients began to stabilize, their symptoms receding. Relief washed over the ward like a tidal wave. Silen turned to Harris, who was now standing, albeit shakily. You saved us, Silen said, his voice filled with gratitude. Harris shook his head. We did it together, Doctor. This was a battle we all fought. The dawn after the outbreak brought a fragile sense of calm to Zoreth Hospital. The frantic pace had slowed, but the battle was far from over. Dr. Silen moved among the recovering patients, his mind racing with plans for the next steps. The vaccine had saved many, but there were still unknowns about the virus and its potential for mutation. As Silen checked on Captain John Harris, he couldn't help but feel a growing respect for the human leader. Harris, despite his weakened state, was already coordinating with his team, ensuring everyone was accounted for and assisting where they could. Doctor, Harris greeted, his voice stronger than the day before. Any news on the vaccine's distribution? We're ramping up production, Silen replied. But we need to remain vigilant. This virus could evolve, and we must be ready. Harris nodded, his expression serious. We'll do whatever it takes. This isn't over until everyone is safe. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden commotion near the entrance. A group of alien doctors and nurses were gathered, their faces etched with concern. Silen pushed through the crowd to find Dr. Varlek standing in front of a hollow screen displaying alarming data. What's happening? Silen asked, his heart pounding. Varlek turned, his face pale. The virus has mutated. It's spreading to areas we thought were secure. A wave of dread washed over Silen. How bad is it? Bad, Varlek admitted. We need to act fast or risk another outbreak. Silen's mind raced. We need to update the vaccine and distribute it immediately. I'll need the humans' help again. Their resilience might hold the key. Harris, who had followed Silen, stepped forward. We're with you, Doctor. Just tell us what to do. Silen felt a surge of determination. We need to gather more samples, update the vaccine, and deploy it to the affected areas. This time, we'll be prepared. The tension in the hospital rose as Silen and his team worked tirelessly to combat the new strain. The air was thick with the sounds of frantic typing, urgent conversations, and the hum of medical equipment. Every second counted. As the hours ticked by, Silen noticed a change in the atmosphere. Alien and human medical staff were working side by side, united by a common goal. The barriers of prejudice and policy seemed to dissolve in the face of shared adversity. The breakthrough came late in the night. Siler's updated vaccine showed promising results in the lab. He immediately moved to administer it to the most critical patients, holding his breath as he watched for signs of improvement. Slowly, the patients began to stabilize. Relief washed over Siler, but he knew they couldn't let their guard down. He turned to Harris, who was still at his side, unwavering. "We did it," Siler said, a tired smile on his face. "But we need to stay vigilant." Harris clapped a hand on Siler's shoulder. "We will, Doctor." Together. Just as a sense of calm began to settle, a new alert sounded. Siler's heart skipped a beat as he read the message. "Incoming transmission from the Galactic Health Authority." The Galactic Health Authority's transmission cast a somber shadow over Zorath Hospital. Dr. Siler stood beside Captain John Harris, the message still echoing in his mind. A new, even more virulent strain of the virus had been detected, threatening to plunge the entire galaxy into chaos. "We have a responsibility to act," Siler said, his voice resolute. "This is bigger than our hospital. We need to coordinate with other medical centers across the galaxy." Harris nodded, his face set with determination. "We'll need all the help we can get. Let's mobilize our team and prepare for a galaxy-wide effort." The urgency in the hospital intensified. Siler gathered his medical staff, both alien and human, and briefed them on the new threat. "We must create and distribute an updated vaccine as quickly as possible. Our initial success gives us a blueprint, but this new strain is more aggressive. We have to be faster, smarter." Varlek, who had once been skeptical, now stood beside Siler, fully committed. "We'll need to tap into every resource we have. And we must be ready to face resistance from those who still hold prejudices against humans." As the team worked tirelessly, Harris took the lead in organizing the logistics of distribution. His military background proved invaluable in coordinating with other planetary defense forces to ensure the vaccine reached every corner of the galaxy. His authority and calm demeanor inspired confidence and unity among the diverse crew. Days turned into nights as the team labored without rest. The hospital buzzed with activity, the air filled with a sense of purpose. The fusion of human tenacity and alien technology created a synergy that pushed the boundaries of medical science. Finally, the first batch of the new vaccine was ready. Siler and Harris stood at the forefront of the operation, overseeing the deployment. "This is it," Siler said, a mixture of exhaustion and hope in his eyes. "We're sending a lifeline to the galaxy." Harris nodded, his gaze unwavering. "And we'll keep fighting until every life is saved." The vaccine shipments were loaded onto transport ships, each one carrying the hopes of countless beings. As the first ship took off, a cheer erupted from the medical team. Siler felt a surge of pride and relief. They had done the impossible, but the fight was far from over. Just as the moment of triumph began to settle, another alert sounded. Siler's heart raced as he read the incoming message. "Dr. Siler, this is the Galactic Council. We need your team's immediate assistance on planet Silen. The situation there is critical." The tension escalated once more. Silen was a hub of interstellar trade, its infection rate skyrocketing. Harris stepped forward, his resolve as strong as ever. "We'll go, Doctor. Our team is ready." Siler met Harris's gaze, a silent understanding passing between them. "Let's save Silen."